Live, WECT News begins now with breaking news.
Oh my God! Holy.
The terrifying moments when a building explodes, sending fiery debris bursting into the sky. You can hear the fear in the voices of the witnesses who saw it happen. We're going to hear from them tonight and get an update on the first responders who are hurt, along with new details just into our newsroom about the driver who police say is responsible for the blast that rocked New Center Drive in Wilmington earlier today. I want to take a look at what's left of that office building right next to Bob King GMC dealership. Now, this is a view from our First Alert Sky Tracker drone. You can't get this kind of a concept of the damage done from the ground. This shows you the blast and how much it gutted the top of that building along New Center Drive. We're told you could see the debris flying from the explosion for miles after it happened. Now, we have live team coverage tonight of this breaking news story. WECT's Ariana Bertolotti is live at the scene. She's hearing from first responders and from witnesses. Daniela Hankey has a look at the First Alert traffic update and the impact on drivers this rush hour. We're going to begin, though, with WECT's Francis Weller leading our coverage from the field. And Fran, we just got the details on the explosion and the driver involved, so get us up to speed on what we know.
Absolutely, John. New details on the driver police say caused this explosion. Police say Jason Beach is responsible. He has been arrested. He has been charged with a slew of things, including driving while impaired. They also say they found drug paraphernalia. They say he hit a gas line when he hit the building, and he tried to take off, but from there he was arrested. As for the explosion, the Wilmington Fire Department says firefighters were doing a primary search of the building after the car crash. That's when they were making sure no one was inside, and that's when fire crews say there was a second explosion. Now, the fire chief, Steve Mason, says it is possible that the oxygen tanks caused a second explosion, but that has not been verified. He did, though, say it is possible. We're told that 4 firefighters were hurt, sent to the hospital. 2 of them are out of the hospital. 2 of them remain in there. 1 of them has severe burns to their hands and arms. Now, as you have seen, that explosion has destroyed the building that was set to open in just a few weeks. Eastern Carolina Veterinary Medical Center was to open in September. But as you can see, the building behind me, a total loss now. There is no telling when that vet clinic will open. Now, as for the driver, Jason Beach, police say he does face a number of felony charges tonight and remains in jail on a $100,000 bond. We, of course, have been on the scene since this explosion happened around 11:30. WECT's Ariana Bertolotti also here tonight on the scene. Ariana talked to witnesses today about what they felt, what they saw when the explosion happened. Let's turn our team coverage over now to her.
I did, Fran. I spoke to nearby workers, people shopping nearby, even people just driving by the scene. All of them sharing in shock of what unfolded before them. Now let's take a look at the video from earlier today, where crews were working to knock down the flames here along New Center Drive. When the crash initially happened, we're told construction workers inside the veterinary building smelled gas and got out. The building was in the final stages of construction and was set to open in a few weeks. We're also told Bob King GMC evacuated as a precaution, and it's a move that likely saved many lives. Also considering the veterinary employees were supposed to be in that building just hours later. A reaction from people who felt the initial explosion ranged from not thinking twice to fear. But one thing in common, nobody expected this.
A regular Monday at work, and then I was in the kitchen. We were all about to eat, whenever all the containers started to fail, and then we kind of felt a little bit of movement. So we were all like, oh my God, did someone crash in the back of the parking lot? So we all go back, and then we see all the ashes from the top and then some wood like falling.
As for people inside the building, I spoke with the Vet Medical Center's administrator, who said employees are supposed to be in the building just hours after this explosion. Now, this is something we've been saying all day. This is a situation that could have been a lot worse. Now, with that, I'm going to throw it back to you, Fran.
All right, Ariana, and we cannot say that enough. Had people been inside that building, had this happened just a few weeks later, it could have been much, much worse. Now, we'll keep on the scene and stay here and keep you up to date on any new developments. We have been told that the gas has been sealed and that it is much safer now than it was. They're opening up now, just now, as I'm seeing traffic pass by me. They've just opened up New Center Drive. It has been closed off since the explosion. Now, be sure to download the WECT News app and turn on breaking news. That way, when anything happens, like the breaking news we had earlier today, you can get that information as soon as possible. As soon as it comes into our newsroom, we'll pass it along to you. Just use your phone's camera to scan the QR code on your screen. The app is a free download on all of your smart devices. We'll come back out here to the scene on News Center later in this newscast. Until then, we're going to send it to John in the studio.
All right, Fran, thanks. That explosion caused a lot of traffic backups for drivers throughout the day. This is a live picture right now. The cameras at South College and Oriole Drive. That's near News Center. And WECT's traffic reporter Daniela Hankey keeping up with the diversions and the impacts to traffic. What are you seeing right now, Daniela?
Well, John, some good news. We heard Fran talking about it, and of course, we're waiting to still get it confirmed, but we do have eyes on the scene that have told us that New Center Drive has reopened. So that whole stretch that's been closed, now back open. If you are heading that way, you'll be able to get through. But I do want to show you some alternative routes that you can still take if you're heading towards that way, because we are still seeing some of that traffic, especially if you're heading on South College. That's where I'm tracking a lot of those delays. But Market Street, Randall Parkway, Covell Avenue, and South Carr Avenue, those are all good alternative routes to take. I want to bring you back out to that live traffic camera that we're seeing. And we were tracking, eventually we were seeing on South College, as you turn onto New Center, a police car was blocking it. That police car has since left, so that's a good sign, also showing that that road is back open. Of course, still add that extra time into your commute if you are heading towards that way. John?
All right, Daniela, thanks. We have breaking news today, but we also are keeping an eye on Hurricane Erin churning in the Atlantic, causing a lot of rip current concerns and dozens of rescues along the coast again today. Gabe Ross is in the studio tonight. Gabe, what do we know at this hour?
Well, at this point, John, steady as she goes, right? So we've told you about the dangerous surf and rip currents now for days, and that continues to be the case. In fact, officials at our area beaches saying, hey, putting out swim advisories, not a good idea to get in the water. We're going to continue to echo that sentiment as we head through the end of the week. Here are some of the impacts we continue to track through tonight into tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, 3 to 6 foot plus breaking waves, strong rip currents. And then on top of that, some tidal flooding with the new moon cycle approaching. But I think we're going to dodge the worst of the heavy rain and wind as Erin is going to be offshore. Tropical storm warnings still up in and around the Outer Banks. It's a formidable storm, a category 2 as of 5 o'clock with 105 mile per hour sustained winds, gusts up to 125, but now moving more so north-northwest at 10 miles an hour. That's a good sign to see. We're tracking some showers on the radar here locally. A look at that nighttime forecast and out the next 10 days coming up in just a bit, John.
Now, those surf conditions are so dangerous that several towns along the coast have actually closed their beaches. WECT's Mackenzie Bruns went to Topsail Island, where leaders in one town are pulling out all the stops when it comes to keeping people safe from Hurricane Erin's effects.
It's a beautiful beach day right here at North Topsail Beach with warm sand and blue skies. But town officials are warning residents about the hidden impacts of Hurricane Erin. It's no surprise many phones were out today at North Topsail Beach to capture large waves crash onto the shore, all due to Hurricane Erin. The town is currently under a coastal flood watch with high rip current risks and the possibility of high surges, a big threat to beachgoers. Town officials are working with Onslow County using drone footage for pre-assessments while preparing equipment and fuel supplies for the rest of the week, while also keeping an eye out for flood-prone areas. The town has closed its 4x4 drive-on area and Richard Peters Park, and the county closed off their beach accesses in North Topsail. Like many beachgoers, Brian Geyser took off this week to relax from work, but a hurricane was not on his vacation plans.
They definitely seem bigger than normal. I was here a couple of days ago and I was comfortable getting in past where the waves break so I can hang out and not have to deal with the waves. And today I feel like I'll be more towards the shore. Beautiful, but they're bigger. Yeah, definitely bigger.
Town officials tell me that they'll continue to monitor these conditions and also post updates to their website. They say anyone that is concerned about the impacts of Hurricane Erin can join Onslow County's new Regroup alert system. That information can be found on our website. Reporting in North Topsail Beach, Mackenzie Bruns, WECT News.
Do you feel safe here?
No, I don't want to see none of my kids dying from mold. I don't.
One mom calls her lease toxic. A mold problem, she says, is getting out of hand. That story right after this break.
Where news comes first, you're watching WECT News.
People living in a public housing complex in Burgaw have complained about mold inside their units. Well, tonight we're hearing from a mom who fears what that mold could do to the health of her 6 children, including a newborn. WECT's Ava Brengord talked to that mom today. What did she have to say, Ava?
Well, John, she's worried about her family's health. We've reported that mold testing was done last year at 7 Oaks Apartments in Burgaw, but now neighbors say not much has changed. For one Burgaw mother, she calls her lease at 7 Oaks Apartments toxic.
I don't want to see none of my kids dying from mold.
You can see mold growing on the ceiling of her apartment. It's on her family's clothes, even on her children's toys. It's gotten so bad, her 6 kids sleep in one bedroom, including her 2-month-old baby.
That's really the only place that's safe right now.
Out of fear of being evicted from her apartment, she's asked to remain anonymous. She decided to speak out after saying the mold problem has gone on long enough.
It's very frustrating. And I get tired of I emailed them, Pender County Housing, and let them know mold is growing over my kids' beds.
The Pender County Housing Authority oversees the apartment complex. The agency conducted mold testing in all 40 units back in 2024. Last year, this mother's apartment tested positive for one type of mold, but she says nothing has been done since to fix the problem in her unit.
Nobody came over here, and I'll be home. Nobody came here.
In a statement to WECT, Housing Director Brianna Martindale says renovations were made to 8 units. Air duct cleanings have taken place, and carpet cleanings are scheduled for later this week. But when we asked if the county has retested the apartments for mold this year, Martindale said, "We are moving quickly to complete these improvements while ensuring safe, healthy housing for residents." She ended her statement by saying, "No residents are living in apartments with mold." But this mother of 6 says she has evidence that is not true.
Do you feel safe here?
No. No. Because of my health. I don't want to. I got to be able to live for my kids. My kids got to be able to have a mom. I'm a single parent. I'm doing it by myself as it is.
And until changes are made, this is her family's reality for now. As of tonight, the Pender County Housing Authority has not responded to our question on whether the county plans to retest all 40 units at 7 Oaks. You can read the county's full statement on this story on the WECT News website right now. Ava Brengord, WECT News.
Waves continue to slosh along the southeastern North Carolina coastline, and the strongest of the waves not even here yet. We've got a timeline for the arrival and departure of the most dangerous surf and rip currents from Erin in your full first alert forecast coming up.
your forecast from the First Alert Weather Team.
Let's take a look at the big upper level pattern shower. We're getting a good view of where Hurricane Erin is and where it's ultimately going, skirting between Bermuda and the east coast of the U.S. Once that feature moves away, we do get a look at another decent feature here too. We get the warm ridges off to the east and west of the Carolinas, but a dip in that upper level pattern, believe it or not, it's going to allow for some cooler temperatures to sink in here by the end of next week. So if you enjoy some overnight lows in the 60s, highs in the lower and middle 80s, some lower dew points, that's looking like it could be a possibility the end of next week. We'll see if models hold true to that. Showers and storms beginning to fizzle are a little more robust about an hour ago, but generally this progression about the east to west movement there. You could see our high resolution sky modeling maybe overdoing some of those cells, but notice the trend, a gradual weakening as we head through the next couple of hours. Clouds are going to be highly variable here the next couple of days as we start to see some of those outer cloud bands from Erin. But as far as the rain and the wind impacts, I'm telling you folks, this likely is going to be a non-issue for us in the Cape Fear. That said, our friends up in the Outer Banks still watching this hawkishly. Dangerous surf and rip currents. Variable clouds over the course of the next couple of days. Taking you through tomorrow night and Thursday as the eye of Erin starts to hit the southeastern North Carolina latitudes and eventually lifting to the north, we'll say by about Thursday morning. Still left with some clouds. Couple of stray showers, but even those rain bands likely going to stay off to our east. So not even concerned about any of that per se. The waters, though, continue to get agitated. These are wave heights as they stand now from several locations off the Carolina and Virginia coast up to Chesapeake Bay, all the way down to Charleston, 9, 10, 11-foot offshore waves. So the water's already pretty choppy, and they'll continue to get more agitated as we head really through late tomorrow and into early Thursday, as I mentioned. But as the center of that storm lifts to the north, the southeastern North Carolina or the Wilmington latitudes, that's where things will start to calm down. So I have some guarded optimism by the end of the week. If you're looking to make a weekend trip to the beach, it's going to look just a little better. Looking pretty good to the southeast. Remember, though, please play it safe if you're heading to the coast. Great to sit out and enjoy some sun. Not a great idea to get submerged in the water. 78 degrees and mostly cloudy skies out at the airport. A northeast wind at 7. Dew points in the lower 70s. Air temps bouncing around the 70s and 80s, where again it has been on the cool end. We'll look for middle and lower 70s for tonight and tomorrow. Similar situation with upper 80s, close to 90, and some isolated showers and storms, but not overwhelming rain chances here the next several days. And there's the cool down we alluded to the middle and end of next week. Those highs struggling to get really above the 80-degree mark, John.
We want to get you another breaking news update on that explosion that happened in Wilmington. WECT's Francis Weller live along the scene on New Center Drive tonight. Now, Fran, you talked with the fire chief, Steve Mason, earlier, and he said this really could have gotten a lot worse.
Oh, much worse, John, much worse. I mean, think about it. That building behind me was set to open in just a few weeks. It could have been full of people and pets. We do know 4 firefighters were also hurt, 2 still in the hospital, 1 with serious burns. But it was because of their actions that this massive explosion didn't end with anyone dying. Nearby businesses were evacuated very quickly after the initial crash happened, or the explosion, and it's that quick thinking that likely saved countless lives. We talked with Wilmington Police Lieutenant Greg Willett today, who says it's times like these that it reminds us to be thankful for those who put their lives on the line to protect the community.
This is a moment right now where citizens of Wilmington and New Hanover County really need to be proud. I can tell you as a Wilmington police officer, not just as a lieutenant, every situation I've been to, whether it's a house fire, a traffic crash, or something of this magnitude, we have the most professional fire department I've ever seen.
Now, we want to extend our thanks and gratitude to those first responders as well. They really do put their lives on the line. Now, join us tonight on WECT News at 11 for continuing coverage of this breaking news.